We've all had a bad day here and there where it seems like things just never get better. The entire world seems to be disintegrating slowly and it feels as if there's no saving humanity. But don't worry, there are still many good people out there who are trying to make the world a better place and helping others with their kindness. In today's video, we'll show you some of the most heartwarming acts by people who, through their kindness, changed someone's life. These random gestures of kindness will definitely bring tears to your eyes. So make sure to watch till the end and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Motorcyclist rescues frightened kitten. Baby cats need to be taken care of by adults. In this dramatic footage, a tiny ginger kitten was stuck in the middle of the road. It was in the middle of traffic and no one was stopping to help it. That was when a soft-hearted motorcyclist stopped and picked up the little guy. She initially thought it was a leaf because it looked incredibly small and fragile. Poor kitten could have been run over by the incoming traffic if the motorcyclist hadn't picked it up in her helmet. She has named the kitten Skidmark, who's gone viral online because of its cute antics. Dream car. Lee, who is a young photographer, had been hearing his father talk about his dream car ever since he was a child. Lee decided it was time to make his father's dream a reality. He gifted his dad an original 1977 Chevrolet Camaro convertible in orange with rally stripes. It's an incredibly rare model and Lee couldn't find one. He then decided to get it in red, but his friend Justin, who owns AJ's Superior Body Shop, decided to take apart the entire car and repainted it in the color Lee's dad had always wanted. After 16 hours of hard work, the car was ready. They did an elaborate photo shoot after which Lee's dad took it for a spin. He was delighted by the best gift he had ever received from his beloved son.
I'm overwhelmed. I really am overwhelmed.
Teenage fan gives foul ball to young child. Altruism is a rare trait to find in someone nowadays when everyone is only concerned for themselves. Teenagers are infamous for their broody nature and behavior, but this young boy proved that teens can be kind too. This boy was at a Red Sox game in Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts, and caught a foul ball. He noticed an excited little toddler in the crowd and gave him the ball.
Isn't that nice?
The toddler looked like a mega fan and was dressed completely in Red Sox merch. There's no doubt this teenager won everyone's heart at the game. Homeless brothers are surprised by Good Samaritan. It's not easy being homeless. Sleeping without shelter on the cold hard ground and not knowing whether or not you'll be able to afford a meal is a heartbreaking situation to be in. These two homeless brothers were also living a hard life when a stranger arrived one day and helped them. The Samaritan woke them up and asked them for directions.
Do you know where is the spot here?
Afterwards, he decided to help the two by buying them food. He bought chicken, chocolates, chips, bread, yogurt and more. Kind gesture by the stranger definitely warmed everyone's hearts. Gift of adoption. Nothing is more important than family, and there are hundreds of thousands of unfortunate kids waiting to be a part of one. This little girl is Hayley, and her stepmother has been fighting a long battle for permanent custody so Hayley can legally be her daughter. This video shows Hayley's reaction when she finally succeeded. The stepmother made the moment quite memorable for her beloved daughter. First, she gave Hayley a Build-A-Bear present, which was followed by a birth certificate. After that, she gave the little girl a necklace with an inscription saying, "My daughter holds my heart." Finally, Hayley read the birth certificate that conveyed the message that she was officially Bridget's daughter.
Are you happy? I love you, Mom.
Helping blind and deaf man. Clara Darley is a young teen who understands how nerve-wracking traveling can be for some individuals. She was on an Air Alaska flight destined for Portland with her mother. During the flight, there was an announcement made by one of the attendants who inquired if someone on the plane knew sign language. Clara had been studying sign language, so she decided to help. The 64-year-old Tim Cook had requested help as he wanted to ask a few questions and have some company, but he was unable to speak. Clara was happy to oblige. A fellow passenger was moved by Clara's kindness and posted the interaction online. Judge greets classmate leaving jail. Arthur Booth and Mindy Glasser were in the same middle school when they were young. They hadn't met in decades until one day in court where Mindy was the judge. Sadly, Arthur was the criminal Mindy was supposed to assess. Before she was about to sentence him, Mandy told the court that he was one of the nicest kids she knew back then. She expressed her grief over seeing her old friend end up in jail for robbery. Arthur got emotional and broke into tears during the interaction.
My goodness.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you, sir.
He'd been in and out of jail for various petty crimes. His life hadn't been easy, but the meeting with Mindy motivated him to mend his ways, according to him. Mindy was there to meet him when he left prison and was incredibly happy for him. Young girl gives her meal to a needy elderly woman. This little girl in the footage put everyone to shame when she got up and gave her meal to a needy person. She'd been waiting with her dad for their meal to arrive when she noticed an old and frail woman standing close by. The little girl picked up her food as soon as it arrived and gave it to the unfortunate lady. She also sat down and accompanied the old woman while she enjoyed her meal. The father was confused at first, but then decided to join them. Commuters push train to save trapped man. This footage is from Perth, Western Australia, where a man accidentally got his leg stuck between the train and the platform. He slipped at Stirling Station and ended up getting his leg stuck. If it weren't for the people who got together and helped him out, he could have gotten into a horrible accident. The passengers gathered together and pushed the train just enough for the man to free his leg. Almost 50 people pushed the train and freed the man. Luckily, he didn't suffer any injuries. Scooter driver helps woman catch her runaway horse. This woman's wayward horse got away somehow and galloped onto the road. Walter, the horse, got spooked by something on the road and bolted. The owner was unable to keep up with him, but this driver helped her catch up with Walter. The guy luckily had a motorcycle and some experience in managing spooked horses. They finally managed to calm the horse and the owner was grateful to the driver who helped. Man helps mother duck and her ducklings. This video recently went viral and gained public acclaim. The footage shows an adorable and fluffy family of ducks that were trying to cross a road with oncoming traffic. Fortunately, this kind man stopped and decided to help the mother duck and her little ducklings across. He guided the traffic and stood in the middle of the road, making sure they were safely on the other side. Young athletes defend cheerleader with Down syndrome. The annual music awards that take place in St. Louis invite special people from around the globe and honors them with sportsmanship awards. 3 Wisconsin award winners named Scooter Tarian, Chase Vasquez, and Miles Rodriguez were honored for a special reason. The 3 middle school basketball players defended the 15-year-old Desiree Andrews, who suffers from Down syndrome. Desiree was a member of the cheerleading squad, and at one game the 3 boys noticed some kids from other schools mocking and heckling her. The boys instantly took a stand and made it clear they would not tolerate any kind of bullying. The boys are now nominated for a citizenship award for their act of bravery. Restaurant in London surprised blind woman. Differently abled people may not get to celebrate birthdays like others, but the kind staff from this restaurant made sure that a blind woman got to enjoy her special day to the fullest. Natalie, who is blind, got a pleasant surprise when a chef at this London restaurant made her a special birthday message in Braille. He used melted chocolate to write the message, which she could read before eating.
Are you kidding me? It's insane!
This heartfelt gesture was completely unplanned, as Natalie and her friends hadn't made a prior reservation. Man saves multiple deer stranded on frozen lake. This man, named Ryan Peterson from Ontario, made the most of his lunch break during a freezing December day. He was ice skating on a lake when he noticed 3 majestic deer who were trapped on the ice. They were unable to move as the ice underneath their legs broke and trapped them. Ryan helped them out using a rope, and within a few minutes he was able to pull all 3 deer to the solid ground. Drowning dog rescued by awesome men. This poor dog was stuck in fast-flowing water and it didn't seem like he would make it out alive. Lots of people had gathered around to see if the dog managed to get out of the water, but these men decided to actively help it while putting their own lives at risk. Fortunately, they were able to pull the dog out with their quick thinking and teamwork, and in the process made a friend for life. Saving an orca stuck on rocks. Sometimes huge, formidable creatures from the ocean end up at the mercy of humans. This is what happened to this orca. This Alaskan woman named Aaron Duncanson knows the wild state quite well, but this was the first time she had come across a massive whale stranded on shore. She helped her uncle in taking care of the poor distressed orca that had washed on the beach during high tide. The locals, along with Aaron, kept throwing water on the whale so it survived until the next high tide. After 6 hours, the tides finally rose and the 13-year-old orca safely returned to the sea. $500 tip. This YouTuber from Arizona did something unbelievable. Steve Shapiro is known for his fun prank videos and content. In this video, he approached a hairdresser who needed rent money desperately. Steve left her a huge tip on Facebook. Similarly, he helped out several people on the street indiscriminately. Their reactions were priceless, and viewers could not help but cry hearing the stories of their hardships. Mysterious green grave. It's never easy to visit the grave of a loved one. Joseph Villaseñor had passed away in a car accident when he was just 36 years old. His parents and wife were devastated by the loss. Joseph had served in the military for 16 years and was buried in Garden Park Cemetery in Texas. His parents and widow used to regularly visit his grave, but it wasn't always easy to get there, so after a while, a few months had passed between the visits. After the hot summer, when they reached the cemetery, Joseph's family members were saddened to see that the previously green graveyard had become almost barren due to the drought. But to the surprise of Joseph's parents, their son's grave was lush green. They couldn't help but cry when they found the truth. A warm-hearted senior citizen who frequently visited the cemetery was the one who kept Joseph's grave green. The 86-year-old Jake Rasig had also lost his beloved wife of 65 years in 2014. He visited her grave every day, and one day saw Joseph's widow crying over his grave. Jake was moved by her grief and decided to ensure that his grave stays beautiful. Man shaves head completely after shaving his wife's head. The woman you see in this video is suffering from cancer and was filming herself as her husband shaved her head. The couple belongs to South China's Guangdong province. It's a well-known fact that one of the side effects of chemotherapy is hair loss, because of which many patients choose to shave their heads in advance. The family members and friends can't do much to ease the pain of their loved ones suffering from cancer, but they can show solidarity. This is exactly what her husband did by shaving his head too after he finished shaving hers. These were some heartwarming and beautiful acts of kindness from around the world. Tell us in the comments which one made you tear up. We'll be back soon with more amazing stories. Until then, have a great time and make sure to subscribe to our channel.